Okay, injury front. Ethan Posick has a knee injury. That'll be in the weeks, but not entirely sure how many weeks that is. Jack Conklin with that foot injury should be okay. Obviously looking back on that game, just some really missed opportunities is what it was. You go play a good football team. You got to capitalize on opportunities when you get down in the red zone. You got to come away with sevens. We just didn't capitalize on opportunities. And then in the second half, we got to find a way to get a stop and play complementary football. And we just didn't do that. And that's when you get those results that we got yesterday. So we got to find a way. Got another good team this week coming to our place, and we got to find a way to go 1-0 this week. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start today with Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Coach. I know we've talked to you a lot about the defense and the run defense in particular. And I know you've tweaked practices and scheme and personnel. You're still not getting the results you want. How concerning is that?
Yeah, I think to your point, Tom, you are trying to do anything you can to get the results you're looking for. So in order to play good run defense, schematically, we got to make sure that we can play fast, can fit our gaps, be sound in everything we're doing. And didn't do that yesterday enough. You got to tackle, you got to run the ball, all those things. So we'll continue to look at it and find a way, because teams are going to continue to try to run the football. And we got to stop it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. Next up is Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin. After the game, Miles said not enough importance is being placed on takeaways in practice. And Grant said you can't have faith in your teammates if guys don't know what they're doing. Do you feel like the defense, is it like a fracturing point? And how do you keep it together?
I think when you're 3-7, there's frustration. I mean, that's what we are today, 3-7. But bottom line is we got to be, every person in this building, players, coaches, staff, you name it, have to have that attitude of fixing anything that needs to be fixed. And that's where our focus is today. I can't speak to those specific things that those guys said, but those are conversations I'll have with our guys.
And will Yelda stay in at center for Ethan?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Next up, Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Kevin, after that game and even over the last few weeks, people have been kind of calling for Joe Woods to be fired. And I'm just wondering, can you just provide your thoughts? I mean, is that something that you would even think about during a season, or what kind of standing is Joe in?
Yeah, Mary Kay, my focus is on us getting better. My focus is on us getting a win versus Tampa, playing good offense, playing good defense, playing good special teams. That's where my focus is.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Dale Ryder, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, the story seems to be the same each week after these losses. The defensive players have, I think, done their best not to point fingers specifically, but there's clear problems on that side of the ball. Case in point, you guys take a timeout, and the Bills, coming out of that timeout, score a wide open touchdown because there was something that went amiss again. So I guess my question is how it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and the results aren't changing. So my question is, what can you do to change it up?
Yeah, I mean, I think bottom line, Darryl, is you got to play good defense for 60 minutes. I think there were some in that first half. Obviously, gave up that touchdown late, but had some 3 and outs. So we got to play consistently for 60 minutes. I don't dispute that at all. And there's definitely areas that we can improve in playing sound defense. There's also areas we can improve in playing good team, complementary football. And that's we're -1 in the turnover margin yesterday. We had a field goal blocked. We just didn't do enough things as a team to win that football game.
And the organization has invested so much, starting with Paul DePodesta on the analytics side, to obviously try and gain an advantage, use data to your advantage. My question is, how much input does Paul have week to week in the game planning processes, and just, what is his role as far as how he fits in with your staff in that regard?
Yeah, I think Paul and really a bunch of areas of our building give me and our coaches and our scouts give us a ton of great information. Paul's very helpful to me throughout the week in a bunch of conversations in all areas of football, not specific to one area.
Thank you, Daryl. Matt Fontana, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, we've talked so much about the defense, right? Where, Miles, about the practice, there's guys that are questioning the game plan. How concerning is it when it's year 3 of this? A lot of these players have been here for a long time. Joe Woods has been here. How concerning is that it's year 3 and they're still having issues?
Yeah, I go back to, it's frustrating to be 3-7. There's frustration that comes with that. I get that there's negativity that comes with that, but we're going to focus on what we can do better, focus on things that we can control. And what we can control this week is finding a way to go get a win.
And then what's that balance? Because there have been maybe some comments about the game plan where, a coach needs to, like Joe Woods has mentioned, he's had to reduce the menu so much. Is there a balance of looking at the players just saying, hey, you guys have to start meeting us halfway in the middle here, to go to Grant's comments about guys not knowing what they're doing? Is that more coaching or players?
We all sharing it. 3-7, we all sharing it. And that defines us today. But focus right now is on what we're going to do this week.
Thank you, Matt. Cam Justice is next.
Hey, Kevin, kind of off of that, but when you're game planning to try to get this win this week and guys saying that they're maybe having a hard time understanding what they're supposed to be doing and the coverage they're supposed to be in any given moment, how do you address that? Is it slowing things down and walk through a practice? Is it changing how the plan is delivered, adjusting teaching style? Are those things that you're considering when you're looking at those kinds of issues?
Yeah, I think to your question, Cam, and this is for all sides of the ball, you're always trying to give your guys a plan that they can go play fast. I mean, that's when you get to Sundays, you don't want to be thinking, you want to be reacting. So we look at all those things. We look at walkthroughs, how we conduct walkthroughs, how often we do a walkthrough. All those things are important in your preparation, because it does come down to your preparation. Having said that, what's important for our players, what's important for our coaches, is to put together a plan for this week. We can control this week, and that's what we're going to do.
Is that the message then? A lot of the guys have been they've been open about being frustrated about the record, but also saying there's still a lot of season. We could go on a run, and there's still some guys that are hopeful. Is that kind of your approach and your message to keeping guys bought into still playing meaningful football, even with a record that you're not happy with?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is true. Again, I get the frustration. I get the feelings after wins. After a loss is not fun. We're looking to play good football, and what we can control right now is our attitude, obviously, and then we can control this week.
Thanks, Cam. Let's go to Tony Grossi.
Okay, Kevin, it's not easy for a head coach to make changes on his staff. You've been on staffs where the head coach has made changes. What contributes to your reluctance to do that? Is it loyalty to Joe and Mike, or is it you think they're doing a good job or the best job they could?
Yeah, Tony, my focus really is on this week and what we can do this week, to find a win. I understand frustration. I get it. I own it. I own in all of it. So we got to share it as players, coaches, staff, all that.
Okay. And Deion Jones, 8 plays yesterday. What was that all about? He was not on the injury report.
Yeah, just the course of the game. Taki playing Mike linebacker for us was doing a nice job. And then obviously Joe K was playing a ton.
Thanks, Tony. Jeff Shadell, you have our next question.
Thanks, Kevin. I have 2 questions. One, the block on Cade York yesterday, was that low trajectory or a breakdown in protection? What did you see?
Yeah, I think it was we got to look at it. It's a focus of ours that we got to make sure we're working on with Cade. Got to have a high trajectory on those kicks. Something we're just working on.
And the second one, when Myles Garrett says there's not enough emphasis on takeaways in practice, I mean, that's an indictment on coaches. You're there. Is there enough emphasis on takeaways?
Yeah, again, Miles speaks for Miles. I'll talk to him about it. I know this. We put a lot of emphasis on takeaways in our building. We haven't gotten them. That's been our issue in these games. We got to take the football away, and we'll look for ways to do that.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go back to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Kevin, perhaps similarly, just wondering, do you, when you look out there at your defense and at your players, do you feel like they know what their assignments are, what they're supposed to be doing, that they're prepared for the game plan in as much as they possibly can be?
Yeah, I do, Mary Kay. And listen, mental errors and those type of things, they happen in football. So I'm not naive to say that we're going to play the perfect game, but I think these guys work really, really hard during the week to make sure that they have a very firm grasp of what we're doing. When the other team makes a play, they make a play, but you got to tackle and get them on the ground. But overall, understanding what we're doing, I think the guys are putting in the work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Let's go back to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin, it seems like once something bad happens, then it kind of tends to snowball for you. You get the fumble and then a couple of things go bad from there. How do you stop that from happening in game where one, mistake doesn't turn into 10 mistakes?
Yeah, you make your own luck, Scott. I really believe that. You got to make one play. One play, to your point, might turn the momentum of a football game. But that's on us to go make those plays.
And what contributed to so many negative runs from Nick yesterday? That's really unusual for you guys.
Yeah, they, first of all, they did a nice job, and that scheme that they were penetrating. There are things that we can do to give Nick and our backs a better opportunity, but we have to run the ball better, obviously, and I think we will.
Thank you, Scott. We'll take two more, Tom Withers and then Tony Grossi.
Thanks, Rob. Coach, you mentioned Jeremiah before. He was all over the field yesterday. Just a matter of him feeling better. I know he had a good week of practice.
Yeah. Again, played a lot, played sideline to sideline. Wasn't perfect. There's plays I know that he wants back, but gave great effort, trying to fight to get guys on the ground, fight to get the ball out.
And back to the block field goal, was there just a low trajectory there? What was the breakdown there?
Yeah, I don't think it was protection. Obviously, it can't measure exactly the trajectory, those type of things, but that is an emphasis for all kickers are trying to make sure that they get great trajectory on those kicks.
Thanks, Tom. The final question will be from Tony Grossi.
Kevin, in such a disappointing season so far, what kind of support and encouragement are you getting from ownership at this point?
Yeah, again, Tony, focus on this week. We meet every week with ownership. They're here every day, so great conversations throughout the day. So we're all frustrated. I get that part of it, but again, focus is on this week and what we can do this week to go 1-0.